Hey boys, welcome back to the channel where we're going to be going through the round that was round 3, and as the title will probably suggest, it was quite the roller coaster round, honestly. It was a shocker. There was some brilliant scores, and overall finishing on 1-1-1-1, I will take every day of the week. It was one of those rounds where you can look at it glass half full or glass half empty. And after the weekend, and then what happened on Sunday, the final game on Sunday, I was definitely looking at the round half full. But there's definitely a part of me that's a little bit pessimistic as well, just with what could have been. But yeah, 1,111. Surprisingly, the round rank was actually lower than I thought. There was, I thought it was a lot lower scoring round. I mean, it was a low scoring round for sure, but I thought that my round rank was actually going to be a little bit higher, but it's fine. The season rank didn't really change much, thankfully. We only dropped 374 spots, so we'll take that. It was, a bit of a, I mean, it was just, it was all over the shop. I mean, let's just get into the nitty gritty and see how we went overall, player by player. So looking at the dummy halves, Tommy Starling, 53 points. He only played 55 minutes, I'm pretty sure. So you'll take it. Obviously, he's made a bunch of cash. He'll make a bunch more cash. This game, I wasn't looking at the scores for it, but just watching, I was like, Starling is going to be on a stack of points at halftime. He was just tackling everything, and then I looked at the scores, and he was on like 40 odd, I think, and he'd made like 40 tackles. He looked really good. Honestly, he looked good. Hopefully the minutes pick up to more like that 60-65. Hopefully it was just like, the Raiders were shot, they were gone, and Ricky Stewart, it was a good chance to give Paddy a few more minutes because the game was gone. I think Starling still looked good, though. I think he looked dangerous out dummy half, defensively strong, but yeah, 53 will take. Mamazula's 50 points. He downgraded a lot. I remember after the game, there was a lot of actual... Yeah, the updates were very up and down this week. There were massive points dropped and added. So I don't know what was going on with the scoring, but Mamazula's finished on like 60 points, and at the time I was kicking myself a bit. I'm like, geez, I should have just played goddamn Mamazula's again. He punched out great base, but then obviously downgraded to 50, and playing Starling was the right move, which is good. Negative 27 break even for Mamazula's, which is great, and yeah, still playing 80 minutes, which is fantastic. I mean, getting through just like stacks like 40 odd tackles, which is, I mean, he did jag some attack in round 2, but the fact he's going to have good bait. If he's playing 80 minutes, making 40 tackles at least, like, there's 40 points just there. I mean, obviously missed tackles and penalties, but, you can reliably get like 40, 45 from him if he's playing 80. The front row once again, boy oh boy, it is back to the good old days for Supercoach. Just lock and load the fucking big boppers up front. The back row is a bit, well, I mean, we actually got some decent scores in the back row this year, but the front row, oh my god. Payne Haas, 140, and as you can see, there is no vice captaincy on Payne Haas, much to my dismay, for sure. And it's one that it does frustrate me. I'll talk about it in a second, but yeah, Terrell May, 73, again, just insane, and then Naf White with an 87. Didn't play Naf White, so we did miss out on some points with some pretty low scores. It would have been nice to play him over a couple of other guys, but it is what it is. I mean, I wasn't expecting White to score a try. Without the try, what does he get? Like, he still gets like 50 odd points, which is still good. I mean, I'm probably not going to be trading White at this point. I mean, he's going to make some good cash, but there's definitely some big plays to make this week. I'm excited for this round because, yeah, there's some big moves to make, and I've got a good bit of cash in the bank. we can do some good stuff. And it's going to be interesting to see sort of team lists and who is in and out. Emre Gula obviously didn't play. Our back row, pretty rock solid. Olakau'atu was great, 83 points. He did get a 10-minute spell, but he did his damage. Jacob Preston, 47. Just, he's giving me the shits, bro. I'm losing it. And I think Preston's going to be the guy to go. Just like my initial first thought is, I think Preston's the guy to go. He lost a bit of cash, not that much. He lost about 20k, I think. So he's still sitting close to 600. So it's a fact, his base is fine. He's making plenty of tackles, but he is just not running the football. He's not getting great ball in attacking wise, regardless. That's obviously one detriment. He's just not getting much good footy on the attack. But the second point, he's not taking many in general, he's just not taking many tough carries. Every time he fucking runs the ball, he's almost busting through tackles. I'm like, please just get involved a bit more with the fucking attack, Preston. I don't know, but I know as soon as I goddamn sell Preston, he's going to go on a bit of a run, but I don't know. There's obviously a couple of big trades to make. I mean, the big one in the forward pack is Tino. Tino is 100% coming into the side this week. And, we can downgrade Preston to Tino. So, I don't know. We'll obviously a couple of days to decide after team list and this and that. We'll work it out. But, yeah, Preston, he is on very, very thin ice, and he's probably the guy to go. Corey Horsburgh, 58 points. You'll take. He got sin binned. Apparently Ricky was carrying on about this one. It was 100% a sin bin. And I've got to be honest, there's more times where that happens that they don't sin bin plays, where it's a deliberate sort of offside, close to the line. A lot of times they don't sin bin for those, which is always baffling to me. I'm like, they're clearly offside in a try-scoring position, but I thought it was the right call. Horsburgh, sin bin. He still played big minutes. He was offloading at will, trying to get them back into it. 55 minutes, but yeah, he's an absolute monster this year for sure. Even with the sin bin taking 10 points away. Alex Seyfarth, that's the thing. I was set on trading Seyfarth this week, but the fact is, obviously Preston has better pedigree and he's got more attack in him. But at the end of the day, Seyfarth is getting as good a base as Preston, and he got a try. He got a try. Probably the base. He did get a try with a line break, so the base probably not quite there, but it's very similar. And Preston's just not getting involved. So the fact is, I can get rid of Preston instead of Seyfarth and do a similar job. So I don't know. It's still a bit of a toss up for me, but I'm probably leaning Preston now. Lockie Hubner obviously didn't play, and then our Nuff Simpkins. Our vice captain, Nathan Cleary. What a start to the round. And this is, okay, so in the preview, I fucking had the vice captain Sean Haas. He was honestly, he was the guy I was going to go. Honestly, I was looking at him like, maybe I'll take a punt on an Arthurs if he scores a treble. He could go big. But I was keen on Haas. I'm like, he's going to get 80 to 90, potentially more if he's offloading. If he scores a try, he's going large, very large. And I thought he was due. But, and it's a thing that I'm annoyed because I very often don't do this. So during the week, and I recommend this to everybody as well, during the week when you're doing your team and your sit starts and vice captain, if you've locked into something, maybe you're not 100% confident, but if you've locked in, you're like, okay, I'll do this, I feel pretty good about it. And then the Thursday night happens. This is a great example. Thursday night rolled around, and all of a sudden I was like, you know what, Cleary, I know the Storm are very good. They're playing at home, but I just felt a bounce back for the Panthers. I thought Cleary was in for a big game, and I just on a whim, I was like, I'll change it to Cleary. And at the end of the day, it could have been different. Like, I mean, the Storm let in a bunch of points. Their centre and their winger went off injured. So, I mean, Cleary could have had a field day in that second half if it all panned out. But obviously not. And it's just one of those ones where I'm like, I never usually do it. I'm like, if that usually happened, I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna change now. I'm going to ride with what I was originally going to do, but it is one of those things. You live and you learn. But if we vice captain Haas, and we obviously would have taken the free loot basically. I don't even want to know how many points we would have got instead. But yeah, that's why I was very happy after the round, but also I was still disappointed because of that. But yeah, Nathan Cleary knocking himself out. Like, what? It's just so... Oh, it's so Supercoach, dude. And now, obviously, Cleary misses fucking Thursday night against the South Sydney Rabbitohs, which was like... the fucking Hines owners got to verse the Bunnies last week. They were dreadful. Hines banged out a ton. You were like waiting for the Panthers draw to open up, and he goes and does that. But I don't know. At the moment, I'm not looking to trade out Cleary. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be holding him, but obviously we'll weigh up what we're going to do. Stan Smith we didn't play, which I wasn't really tempted to, but yeah, he banged out a 20. I mean, he's been really good. He's averaging 48 even with that 20, so he's made good cash. The 20 is annoying, but he's still got a -3 break even. The Titans this week should be hopefully high scoring. Then the Bunnies, so... just looking at it, I'm like, would you want to get off Sandon Smith after the Bunnies game? If there's someone... I mean, I sort of... like, okay, so, I mean... I guess I only really want to get in Nico Hines. Yeah, it probably doesn't work for me, because if I get in Hines like this week... then I can't really move them around anyway. Sandon Smith would... Well, actually, okay, so... Originally, I was thinking maybe if I could get enough money going like Mamazoulis, even fucking Starling, to Nico Hines. Smith goes back to dummy half, and then Smith, after round like 5 against the Bunnies, you could potentially get him off to a better dummy half. But I don't know. I don't know about all that. We'll see, but it's fine. The 5'8", Luke Metcalf, back down to earth with the 23. I mean, I was not confident playing him. I'm not going to lie. I talked about it. I talked about it with Torpicky as well, that the Warriors attack is fucking awful. Like, I will bang on this drum for the whole season. Tamari Munn should be in the halves with Metcalf. Harris DeVita has actually been pretty good, but Martin needs to be there for their attack. Their attack is so bad. Like, their sweeping plays are just so... They're slow. The movement's awful. Passes don't go out in front. Like, you watch them compared to, I mean, the Broncos, like Manly. I mean, obviously the Storm. It's just a 9-day difference. I mean, most sides, the Sharkies, like so many sides. Like, it's absolutely awful. But obviously, I was happy to hold Metcalf, and I'm probably going to hold him again this week, depending. He's got a 2 break even, so he'll make some more cash. They do have the Tigers this week, so it is. I mean, I don't know what to think about the Tigers yet, but on paper it's not a bad matchup. Then they go into the Storm Broncos, so initial plans holding Metcalf this week and then looking to get off, but we will see what we think about that. Adam Dewey, 42. It is what it is. He's goal kicking well. Hasn't quite, he's not really getting much attack. That's probably the one kick. But he's fine. He's a solid play. Obviously, I played him this week, but I wouldn't have to play him every week. Solid enough when I need him. He's got the goal kicking. He's not going to hit the heights that I was maybe hoping for, but he's fine. He's fine for now. Obviously, a guy to either downgrade or upgrade at some point, but there's no real issue with Dewey at the moment. Our centre wing, this was a bit of a shit show. Well, the battle of two halves, really. So Greg Marju and the Knights, fucking me dead. I mean, I know the Knights were missing some forward power, but like, what happened? Like, they were just so inept. Like, I just don't get it sometimes. Like, watching teams go from, I mean, the Knights weren't killing it the first couple of rounds, but like, to go from round 1 and 2 to round 3, like, what happened? And they weren't versing fucking powerhouse. Like, how did they only score one? They scored one try against the fucking Titans. I mean, the Titans were pretty solid. I mean, the Titans do have games in them like that, but one try? Come on, bro. But yeah, Marju, I mean, obviously I'm going to hold him. We got rid of Lucas last week, which I mean, I feel like a lot of people are losing their minds a bit because it's been sort of confirmed that Lucas is going to miss like 6 weeks now, but the early reports, like, it made it seem like he was going to miss a fair bit of footy. Like, it wasn't like a slight strain or anything like that. Like, we didn't get confirmation, but from what I sort of gathered from the reports, like, it seemed like Lucas was going to be out for a fair stint. So I feel good about trading Lucas. Obviously, Marju on the bye, but we can hold that. That is fine. Tuapiki. I mean, it's the same thing with Metcalf, but different, because I love Tuapiki. I think he's an absolute gem, but because Metcalf and Harris DeVita and even Clockstad to an extent, like, their attack is just so fucked. Tuapiki just sees no good footy. The one time it did, goddamn fucking Leia decides to just not pass it. Just a simple 2-on-1 draw and pass, but no, he goes himself. He did score the try, but I'm like, why you just pass the ball to your winger. He's open, but oh, dude, I was fucking livid when he did that. Of course, in the trials, Leia just beautiful hands getting the pass to his winger, but when it's the NRL season, he's like, I need the tries for myself. So Tuapiki catching a cold. He's got to go. We don't have to get rid of him this week. He's got a 27 break even. So again, he's probably going to make cash. There's every chance he scores well against the Tigers. So I'm not sure what I'm doing with the centre wing yet, but again, we can hold Tuapiki. It's fine. Robert Toya, 26, back down to earth a bit here for Robert Toya. Had a bit of a shocker, honestly. He really struggled in this one. Obviously not great, because there is the inclusion of Billy Smith looming, and if he has a couple of stinkers on the trot, he could easily find himself out of the team for Smith. But yeah, I don't know. It was just not a good game for. I mean, the Roosters were pretty awful, backing up the game before the last week. Just didn't turn up. And yeah, Toya just he had a rough one, but I mean, he showed enough the first couple of rounds. I think he deserves to maintain the spot, but it is what it is. Ruben Garrick, 157. I'm a bit annoyed. I was hoping he would upgrade a bit. He was on 160 at the end of the game. Obviously, I'm being a little bit greedy, but to downgrade 3 points, I'm like, really? But that's fine. It could have been more too. He fucking, the little kick behind, and then he went for the flick pass, which he actually nailed, but couldn't quite get the try. But I thought he was going to get 5. I thought the 5th try was coming, and 200 points was on the cards. But boy, oh boy, 157, Ruben Garrick, you absolute fucking madman. So this is another one. I don't know necessarily if that many people traded him out. I know a few people did, and I know there was a bit of talk about it, which I just can't understand. Like, Garrick is just a season-long keeper. Like, I get that if you need money and you're like, I really don't like Manly's draw, or if Trbojevic was actually injured, like a proper injury, he was gone for a good chunk, then okay, sure. But like, Garrick's always been one of the centre wing that can really, really hurt you. He won't play Origin. He'll be there for the major buys if they play them. And I mean, just looking at the scores, he got 86 against the Cowboys. I don't think he scored a try. Like, he didn't have much attack. He had a few goals, and he probably had try assists. Maybe he got a try. I don't know. He got 54 against the Warriors when the Manly were fucking dreadful. And then, without Tommy, 4 Points Park. They play Parramatta next week, 4 Pines. The Storm, on paper, tough, but again, it's at 4 Points Park, and the Storm defensively are not what they used to be. And then, taking on the Sharks 2 times in 4 weeks, bit of a shocker. Panthers, it is a bit of a tough one, but I just Gary's like a season-long keeper. He wasn't that expensive. He was $680 to start the year. He out of the big top-line guys, he was the most affordable, and I was like, he's a lock. He's a set and forget. So, I mean, not trying to shit on people that sold him, but I'm just like, I don't really get the temptation to sell people when they're still scoring well. I don't know. But 157, absolutely killed it. Shibazaki, 60 points. I was pretty confident playing it. Honestly, I mean, the whole time I was like, Shibazaki cannot be the starting center when you've got Mariner and Katoni Staggs. Gotta be honest, eat my words a little bit. Not with Gazowski, because Gazowski is fucking dog, and it does seem like he's getting less and less game time. Piakora is starting to get the roll back. So that one we got right. But Shibazaki, I got to be honest, I've been pretty impressed with him. Like, he's taking a lot of tough carries. He's been a big body out there. He's defensively, he's doing his job pretty well. A couple of misreads now and then, but I think he's doing a pretty good job, and he's working well with Jesse Arthur. So you know what, I mean, I'm glad I've got him as well, but he's going to make good cash. He's going to be a solid player. Like, his base is pretty good. So that's fine. I didn't talk about Arthur's. Obviously, we traded in Arthur's. It was looking pretty dire for a while there, but I mean, Arthur's, he's one of those guys. The line breaks can come pretty thick and fast. And you got a couple line breaks. You got to try. Got 62 points. He made, how much money did he make? Whoops. He's got a negative 14 break even, and he made 120k. So it's going to be interesting. I think the Broncos do have a really good draw still for a few weeks, and then probably look to upgrade him. So obviously keeping him for the Dolphins, Tigers, Roosters. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Roosters really come out and try to turn it on in that game, but still should be a decent matchup. The Warriors, Doggies. Around this point, you could potentially look to sell him. I mean, depends. But yeah, I think he's a guy that you probably take the cash, you take the quick cash and try to upgrade him, or downgrade if there's a cheapie that pops up. But yeah, feel pretty good about that one. And then Jackson Purdue, also feel pretty good about. I mean, I was happy enough to keep him. As long as he was getting the spot, I was happy to keep him. I know people were absolutely shitting on him. And I mean, the Cowboys have been awful. Don't get me wrong, but I really like Purdue as a footy player. Defensively, sure, that side has been a bit of just a fucking mess, but he's got some real attacking upside, Purdue. So as long as he was getting the spot, it's another one of those ones where I know people were trading Purdue to Tamale. The only thing I get, like, the job security, but even that, like, I mean, Albert Hopowate's on the extended. I feel like Purdue, he can go big. He can go big and make some quick cash. So we'll see. I mean, I think either or is good, but I think, I don't know, a bit of a sideways move, Purdue to Tamale. Obviously, it makes it better. Tamale scored pretty bad this week, but he still looks good, Tamale. And then the fullbacks, Caleb Ponga, the captaincy. I mean, good lord. I was watching that game, just head in my hands, just losing it. The Knights were just dropping the footy. Ponga was like, he wasn't, I don't know what the fuck was up with Ponga, but he was not getting involved. He was very often just getting it first receiver and just dishing off the footy. Even on the attack, I was losing it. Thank God he got a late fucking try assist and line break assist to bump up to 45. His score fucking changed a lot too. I feel like he was on 45, and then after updates he went up to like 54, and then I'm I'm pretty sure, and then he's back down to 45. So the updates were all over the shop. I was pretty happy when I saw he updated to 54. I was like, how did he get those extra points? But yeah, they've taken it off him. So whatever. And then Isaiah Iongi, 57. I mean, he could have had more. God damn, that youngster on the wing, Semrani, who I actually thought was pretty good. He was taking some tough carries, but he actually fucking just cold drop with the line in front of him. Would have been a beautiful little try assist for Iongi early in the game, but not to be. God damn it. But he's still got another one. I mean, it was another one of those moments where, like, he took a lot of carries, obviously, but on the attack, another one of those ones, I was just losing it a little bit. They just were not using him on the attack. When he gets the footy on attack, they look so good. Like, his selection, his pass selection is... It's supreme. I'm like, use him more, for God's sake. Stop hitting the fucking short man and go out the back to Iongi, because he's a jet. He's so good with his pass selection, but they just refuse to give him the footy. But thankfully he got some attack. And then obviously Tommy was out. Again, I was happy enough to keep him. We sold Lucas instead, which it worked out for me with the money in the bank. And then apparently Tommy is a certain starter. Obviously, it's, still keep an eye on late mail, but from all reports, Tommy is going to be playing, which is pretty sensational. It's pretty sensational. So we're not going to go through. We won't go through trades and stuff like that. We'll have a look at the game day. We'll look at the scores around the grounds, I think. So Melbourne, Penrith. We'll look at the big guns here. Obviously, Ali Katoa, top scoring 77. I mean, I would love to get Katoa in. There's just probably more pressing trades to make at the moment. Ryan Papenhuyzen, obviously a big talking point. I don't know what I'm going to do. Obviously, Meaney is out for a decent chunk with a fractured jaw, thanks to goddamn Solomona. I don't know how Meaney didn't just get knocked straight out. Like, he copped a headbutt straight to the jaw. Fucking hell. But Papenhuyzen will have the goal kicking back. People, he scored 66. He showed before the bye he's still got a ceiling in him. And with the goal kicking, it's really tough not to look to get in Papenhuyzen. The issue is, though, he had an ankle problem at the end of that game, like where he went to field and in goal. Like, apparently, I don't know, there's conflicting, like, Bellamy said after the match that his ankle was crook, but then the Storm put out, like, their injury list and Papenhuyzen wasn't on it. If Papenhuyzen is... If they say he's fit and he's lining up in this game coming up, I think I'm probably going to get him in. But yeah, if there's a bit of conjecture with the injury, then yeah, we'll see. But I do love him. Cameron Munster, 61. He did get 3 try assists. All off kicks though, so I mean it's only 30 points. You miss out on a lot of points without just kicking it. But he looked good. He's just, I don't know, it's just the Munster, isn't he? Like, he looks so good, but the points don't necessarily come. So I mean, I still think Metcalf is definitely a guy to trade out at some point. I don't know. I mean, probably Jane Campbell is the guy that I'm probably most keen on. Munster is still there and thereabouts, but I don't know. I don't know what I think about Munster. The other big one here, fucking Harry Grant with a 26. Honestly, you love to see it. The people that spent up on Harry Grant, like, I feel like Grant's done this now the last couple of years where, like, people, if you have him in your team the whole year, he's still going to average pretty well at the end of the season, but I feel like he started slow, like, pretty consistently, and he's got these low ones in him. I still think going cheap in the dummy half, obviously it's worked out pretty well because the cheap dummy halves have scored very well, but yeah, people that spend up for Harry Grant would be livid. I would be very mad. And then the Panthers, To'o finally hit back with a good score. Alamotti continues to do well. Thomas Jenkins coming in for Dane Laurie, who was out with an injury. Jenkins is like, I think he's really cheap. It's actually interesting because There was talks that Casey McLean was potentially going to get dropped. Dane Laurie was obviously going to be the fullback. Jenkins was on the extended, so there were talk that maybe Jenkins was going to come in for McLean regardless that game. If it Jenkins, I think he's only like 250 maybe. I might be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure. Does it, what is he? He's 215. He's 215k. It was his first game, obviously, so you can wait. But if that was the plan, you never know. We could get a cheapie in Thomas Jenkins on the wing. We'll see. Lindsay Smith back to fine form, 76. I mean, fuck all the front rowers, dude. Like, there's just so many. I still think Tino is the guy. Like, I guess at the end of the day, I could probably get Smith and Tino. Tino could sit in my back row, and Smith could sit in the front row. Like, I don't know, like, the front row is, like, banging out, like, 60, 70 plus consistently, whereas the back row is pumping out, like, 50 if they don't score a try. If they score a try, sure, they're getting, like, 70, 80 plus, but the front rowers are banging that out without anything, so I don't know. There is a temptation. He would have gone up, though, wouldn't he have? Yeah, he did go up 26k. It's not the end of the world because he did score a bit lower round 2, but you could still look for it. Anyone else? Blaze Talangi. I actually thought he looked pretty. He always looks sharp. He's an absolute freakish mover. It's just whether they think he's up to it defensively or not yet. But I mean, he looks really good. Like if Cleary does, like, if they eventually go with the Talangi Cleary partnership, I think Talangi is going to be straight in, either at 5'8" or centre wing. I just think he is going to score some big points. He's just such a good mover. I think he'll work really well with Cleary, but whether or not they think he's up to it, we'll see in the coming weeks. And then good old Cleary. Great stuff there. But yeah, not too much else to really talk about. The Warriors Roosters. Obviously, Clockside killed it. Layer Tower, thank you very much. You scored 2 tries. You fucking robbed poor old Tuapiki of one. You could have shared it, but you didn't. I hate you. Who else have we got? Aaron Clark, again, 55. I mean, solid. He was like 400k, 390, 400. So if you started with him, he's making good cash. He's getting solid points, but, it's one of those ones. He is value, but nothing insane, I guess. Barnett's is going to be pretty cheap in a few weeks, I would say. Harris DeVita, again, punching out 50. I don't know how I guess he did score a try. I don't know how is he he's getting like 50 every week. How is he fucking doing it? He was the guy. Should have just started with goddamn Harris DeVita. He's gone 51, 74, 50. Fucking hell. He's made 58k. Yeah, he was the guy instead of goddamn Metcalf. But, I mean, I guess Metcalf did get 120, so there's that. But Tuivasa-Sheck obviously did his hemi. From the last I heard, apparently not that bad from early reports. They were saying he's a chance to play this game, which I think is insane. I don't think he'll play this game coming. Oh, no, sorry. No, I'm mistaken. Not Tuivasa-Sheck. Sheck, I think he's gone for a while. That was Skelton that I saw that. So we'll get to Skelton in a second, but yeah, not Tuivasa-Sheck. I don't think we've heard Rogers, but I'd imagine he'll be going for a bit. The Roosters, Naf White, top scored very comfortably. Angus Crichton, 62. He'll be very interesting in a couple of weeks, but in a few weeks, then you start to think about Origin. You're like, do you bring in? I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see with Crichton. Like, are the big scores going to be there with this attack without Sam Walker? I don't know. Spencer Leniu with a 54. Sia Wong. I was keen on Wong, like I said, and he came out and played. No, not Leniu. I'm pretty sure Wong played 80 minutes on the edge again. They were awful, but Wong was still pretty good. Yeah, I was keen on him. I think he's gonna slip by. I think he's slipping by everybody. I don't hear anybody talking about Sia Wong playing 80 minutes on the edge, but he looks good and he's getting through his base. The Roosters have a decent little draw coming up, so I don't think I can get him in, but I don't mind it. Not much else. Connor Watson, another big casualty, copping a head knock. I think so. Originally, it was a Cat 2, so he went off. I think they updated it to a Cat 1, so I think originally they were maybe going to be able to get a compensation for him to play, but I think it ended up being a Cat 1, so I think he's automatically out of this round. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that's what I heard them say. But obviously, if you own Connor Watson, just keep an eye on team. You'll know in team list if he's there or not. I don't know what I mean. You'd probably just hold him. It's a shocker. I mean, it's like Cleary. If you own Cleary and Watson, you'd be fucking. I mean, if you own Tuivasa, you could own very easily. You could own Cleary, Tuivasa, Watson, Skelton, even. You could have owned Trbojevic. You could own Ponga and man, you could be down a lot of players this week. Oh boy, it could be a shocker this week coming with the Knights bye as well. But yeah, and then Sandon Smith with a 20. It is what it is. The Broncos Cowboys. How do we do here? Obviously Payne Haas, Adam Reynolds, the fucking halfback, won apparently, 120 points. Carrigan good, Arthur Shibazaki, Reece Walsh. Walsh is just struggling. He's struggling, but I mean the good thing is the Broncos have won 2 out of 3 games. They obviously lost badly last week, but they still won 2 games. Walsh is having a shocker, but he'll come good. Obviously for owners, it would be just very frustrating watching him. It's frustrating enough for me as a Broncos fan, but if you own Walsh, it would be just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But yeah, only getting 55 against the Cowboys. You'd want more. You'd want more, that's for sure. Corey Pakes, cheapy hooker, still going well, making good cash, 43. Hetherington, absolute plotter in the Tour F. I think most people are going to look to trade him off. Benny Hunt back down to earth with a 33. Gazewski with a try, 32 points. It was off a kick, understandably, but yeah, 32 points. So he made how much has he made? His break even is now 34. He made 35k. Every chance to start losing cash, so I'm glad I don't own Gazewski, that is for sure. That's pretty much it for the Bronx. And then the Cowboys, Talangi, Purdue, Drinkwater with a 52. Drinky's going to be pretty cheap. Drinkwater could be a guy. When are the Cowboys have one of the worst starts of the season by none. Their start is fucking awful. Canberra, Penrith, really tough. Then they go South Gold Coast, New Zealand. Penrith again in there is a bit annoying, but honestly, you could look at that South game. You could take a punt on a cheap Drinkwater. He'll probably continue to have the goal kicking. So I've got to be honest, I'm eyeing it off. I am eyeing it off if Iongi can just make some good cash in the next couple of weeks. Round 6. Because, yeah, it's pretty good. They miss round 12, but that's fine because he plays 13 and 14. Melbourne Storm potentially could rest a few players. Dolphins, then they play 16 and 17. Honestly, only Drinkwater for that period would be fucking beautiful. 13, 14, 16, 17. And they play not... Wait. The Cowboys play every bye? They play... When's their buys? So round 12... That's an insane buy schedule. They play every major buy and every mini buy backup. 13, 14, 15... No, 16, 17, 19, 20. That's insane. That could be a sensational pickup for a Drinkwater. How much is he now? He's gonna have a big break even. He's down 42. he's a guy that could just go on a run and be very expensive still, but like I'm definitely eyeing it off. I mean, the Cowboys are a shambles, but that bye schedule, hopefully they find some form, because that'd be great. There's not really much else. I mean, Nenai could be really cheap as well. I mean, surely he's not going to get picked for Origin this year unless something crazy happens, but he's got a 153 break even. He actually hasn't lost cash here because he got dropped, but he's going to leak cash. So another guy to potentially keep an eye on. Sharks Rabbitohs. So Nico Hines finished with a 115. I mean, you'll take it. He was on about 100 at half time. So thankfully, the Sharkies didn't really just put the foot down, which I will take. Ronnie Mulatalo, 109. Trindle, 97. Fucking Eero, dude. Eero's the one guy I've really wanted in the side, but it was just, I mean, I couldn't spend... I mean, I should have, but spending like Ruben Garrick 680k and then Kale Eero 650k, it just didn't feel good to spend that much money. But man, not having any Sharks for their draw. I mean, taking on Penrith round 1 should have been tough, but then Cowboys, Rabbits, Dogs, Canberra, Manly, Newcastle, Tigers, Para. I still would like to get in some goddamn Sharks. How is their bye schedule? They didn't play 13, they play 16, play 19, so they got a good one as well. So I would like to try to get an Eero, but it's gonna be tough. Fanil Blake 61. I mean, it does sort of look like Payne Haas, Tino, even Horsburgh are probably a bit ahead of Fanil Blake at this point. Even a Lindsay Smith potentially, but Fanil Blake, he is a try scorer, so he will continue to score tries, I have no doubt. Blake Brayley, a popular dummy half, 38 points. Not much else. Stone Street caught a cold on the other side of the field with the 18. Him and Ramian just saw no ball. It was just all Eero and Mulatalo this week, so that could switch. Humphreys with a fucking jaggy goddamn try. Very interesting. So it was interesting what they were doing with Humphreys, because Sullivan came in and played in the halves, and Humphreys was playing like just through the middle as a forward, so he made a fuckload of tackles and obviously scored a try. So the people that went Humphreys over Starling would be feeling pretty good. I still feel good about having Starling, but I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see if Bennett's going to... I got to be honest, I'm not going to be shocked if Dodd gets back into the side. I know people are going crazy for Humphreys, but I don't know. I still think Humphreys as the 14 could be great for them. It wouldn't be great for Mamazulis, but yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, Humphreys has been sensational, but he did switch it up on the weekend, so we'll see. And then the next top score, 50 for Mamazulis. Second top score, Jesus Christ. Kalamatangi, 49. Campbell Graham, 48. Walker, 39. Not much else doing. Very glad I did not start with Isaiah Tass. Ravalawa, obviously the new recruit, 29, had a fucking brain fart at the try line. Very funny. He obviously just didn't know where the try line was because he kept going backwards, bro. Oh, it's such a Ravalawa thing to do as well. Then we have the Dolphins, Tigers. Tigers, very comfortable winners. Herbie Farnworth, 85. I would love to get Herbie Farnworth. He's got an 80 break even. Did he make cash? No, he lost a bit. He did lose a bit of cash, but I guess that's the thing. The Dolphins... So Dolphins commodities, they were great to start the year because they had a very good start, but now... I mean, Broncos, Titans, could be high scoring. And then Penrith, Melbourne, Canberra, Roosters. I don't know. I mean, the draw is a bit... Looking at draws, it's not that crazy. Like, I mean, Penrith still, you would look on paper, be like very tough. But I see them leaking, obviously, more than they have for a long time. The Melbourne Storm, defensively, I mean, unless they blow teams away, they still leak points. So... I don't know, any team, I'm not, like, the draw isn't as vital this year, that's for sure. But I'd like to get in Herbie at some point. Saifidi went well. Max Plath, obviously people were very excited after he scored a try in round one. I didn't really see it, and yeah, I mean 55 points. He's playing in the back row. I don't know. I don't like Plath in the back row. I think he's way better through the middle, but I don't know. They got too many middles. You got to have Gilbert there, Marshall King at dummy half, but yeah, I don't know, man. Gilbert 47. Speak of the devil. Finifuyaki 32. What's Finifuyaki? He'll have a 35 break even. He obviously hasn't made money yet. How many minutes did he play? He played 66. Okay, yeah, probably a scratch for him. That's pretty much it. And then the Tigers, Coruscant was great. Taruva, May, Safearth. Fonopolo was good. Galvin with a 50. So he's still an option. I love Galvin. He just gets his hands on the footy. So for me, I think he is Brown. Like, the way they score, very similar, bunch of tackles. I think Galvin has shown now he's just got a higher ceiling than Brown, and I think the floor is pretty similar. So he is more expensive, but if I was going to go one, I probably would rather Galvin, honestly. Skelton, that's the guy I was talking about. He did do his hammy in that game, but from reports, they were saying he's a chance this week, which surely he doesn't play, but that's obviously good signs going forward that hopefully next round. That's pretty much it. Royce Hunt with 22, as you'd expect, and then Luai 20 points. I don't know how many people own Luai, but I said at the start I was not keen on Jerome Luai. I know people kept fucking bringing up his points at 7 for the Panthers. It's just like, brother, those points are so irrelevant. Like, they don't mean anything when you're playing for the Penrith Panthers. Like, it's just, whenever I heard that, I was just fucking cringing. I was like, you're just cherry picking these stats. He's going to the goddamn Tigers. He is not going to score 70 he's not going to average 70. That's insane. But he's had I don't know. Has he been good in real life footy? He's been pretty good, I think. I mean, the Tigers as a whole, like, their team is like, I think it's pretty solid, like, the team. Luai's added a good dimension, but Supercoach wise, just, nothing really doing, I would say. Then we got the Dodd. I don't even want to look at this one. Jesus Christ. Jaden Campbell with a 117. Look great. What is his? So he obviously hasn't changed price. 56 break even. So you don't have to jump on this week. Like, if you're going to hold Metcalf, you don't have to jump on Campbell yet. Like, there's every chance he goes 100 and makes it good cash. There's every chance he goes less than 56 as well. Like, he's a bit of an up and down player, but I would like him. Fermor, I mean, like I said at the start, I was keen on Fermor and Lucas. Obviously, I went with Lucas just because of the Titans bye, but Fermor has been sensational. 80 points. You could look to get him in. He's only $5.90. Like, he's at a good price, honestly, Fermor. Keanu Kinney, I know people are keen on. I'm not necessarily into it. He looks great, but yeah. Big Tino, 61. I mean, he's banging out 61 without any attack. Like, I mean, he's a must-have. He's coming in this week for sure. For Fafita 56, he'll be losing some good cash. Not much else to do there. And then the Knights at best. Thomas Kant. So, Thomas Kant, 88 points. Interesting watch this week. He's 274k. Well, no, he's on the bye this week, so we'll get a better idea next week of what's going to happen. I mean, as a downgrade option, if he's going to have the spot over Lucas while he's out injured, you could go him, but he looked good in the trials as well. Like, I think he's a very good player, so we'll see what happens. I guess Kai Pearce-Paul also coming back. Fletcher Sharp with a 54. Not much else doing. Kalen Ponga 45, Marju, and then Crossland 33. So I'm glad I didn't go Crossland either. But yeah, that's all for that. And then the Parramatta Eels versus the Bulldogs. So Zach Lomax with fucking just, oh my god, he was, this is back to the days of the Dragons, dude, just absolutely carrying the Eels. Like, he started out not slow, but a bit slower compared to what he was doing at the Dragons. But I think he realised that this Eels side is fucking dreadful, so he's got to carry them as well. So he was just, oh my word, he was taking just run after run. He looks incredible. I got to be honest, I don't know, am I crazy? I still think Lomax as a fullback could work very well. Maybe I'm insane, and probably wing is just his best spot, but you're not going to drop Iongi, but man, Lomax at fullback, I would love to see it. I'm not going to lie, I would love to see it. His efforts defensively, he's very strong. Like, I think he'd be a great fullback, but I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I've thought that for quite a few years. I would love to see him have a crack, and I thought he was going to at the Dragons. Like, I don't understand why they never gave him a chance at fullback, but obviously it worked well for him on the wing, so it is what it is. Penasini with a 68, Hopgood 67, Williams, Dylan Brown 61. I mean, like I said, Galvin Brown, very similar. Iongi 57, Sean Lane started 39, Kartonga also started. He did cop a head knock, so he missed a bit, so 38. I don't know if he gets the spot. You never know. He could be a go as a downgrade. I thought he looked okay, actually, Kartonga. Not much else doing there. Riley Smith, 27. So I was keen on Smith originally, but yeah, just not. I mean, you just don't want to go it. And then the doggies. Sherry went well. Hayward. Connor Tracy with a 53. Preston there. Reed Marnie 37, not much else doing the doggies. Tupanua, a lot of people picked him up for some reason, 33 points. It is what it is. Yeah. And then the final game, the final Butte. What a game it was. Garrick, 157. Cherry Evans killed it, 105. Olakwatu. Bullimore was great. Obviously the bad news. Where is he? Paseka did his Achilles. What a shocker, dude. He was looking really good this year too, Paseka. So that's a big loss for the Seagulls for sure. I guess Toff Sipley will come in. So yeah, they still lose a lot. Lehigh Hapawade, only 35 points, but boy, he's such a good player. My God, he's good. Like, the Hapawades have produced some very good players. I still probably think Will Hapawade's been my favorite, and like, just some of his ball play has been sensational. But man, Lehigh Hapawade, what a goddamn player. Like, Supercoach wise didn't score that well, but I don't think he dropped one. Like, just safe as houses, and he just looks so good at the back. I mean, he's looked great on the wing as well, but like, without Turbo there, they obviously lose a fair bit, but Hopewade, he fills in very, very nicely. Jason Saab, 24. I know a few people were keen to get on him. I don't know. I really don't like it. Like, without Tommy there, I wouldn't have wanted to go with Saab, but people took the punt. Didn't really pay out, but it is what it is. And then the Raiders, Hudson Young, Trey Mooney, I thought was very good. I mean, again, the Raiders got flogged, but yeah, I thought Trey Mooney was very strong up front in a couple of his stints. Fogarty, I thought, was pretty fucking awful. He scored 60. Horsburgh, Starling, Matty Nicholson, obviously a very popular pickup this week, I'm sure. I sort of want to watch that game back, not the whole thing, but just watch snippets, because I'm pretty sure Nicholson, he played 80 minutes, but he played a good chunk through the middle, which is very interesting, because Simi Sasungi still went out to the edge, and obviously Hudson Young was the other edge, and Nicholson just stayed through the middle for like, how many minutes did Sasungi play? Sasungi, he played 40. He played 40 minutes. I'm pretty sure Nicholson just played, I just got to double check. I'm pretty sure he would have played the 40 minutes through the middle, which I kept watching. I'm like, why is Nicholson still out there through the middle? It was very weird. I mean, the points aren't necessarily great, but I don't know what that rotation's going to be like. Like, he is probably a guy I'm going to probably get, but I don't know. That rotation sort of scared me, because Obviously, Tarpany's going to be back this week. Who'll demand a lot of minutes. I guess the one thing. What's his face? Morgan Smithy's failed his HIA, so that's maybe why Nicholson played so many through the minute. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. That's probably why he played so many minutes through. Yes, I've been recording too long. My brain is gone. I'm saying it right, but I keep in my head. I'm like, I'm stuffing up. He played so many minutes through the middle. Oh God. I don't know. It's interesting. I think, he is on the bubble, so you don't have to pick him up, but he's going to make you a good bit of cash this week. He is probably the downgrade option, but I don't know. There's some big trades to make. I'm excited to have a look. And then, not much else doing for that. So that'll wrap up the round 3 review. Hopefully you guys had a good week. Hopefully you had Garrick. Hopefully you captain or vice captain either Hines or Haas and not Ponga like myself. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.